Hi, I'm Kirby Allison, and we love to help the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes. Thank you for all your comments and questions that you guys have posted on our YouTube channel. After reading them all and answering as many as possible, I've selected 5 that we're going to feature in today's Q&A video. Each of these individuals I have selected will receive a complimentary pair of our Wellington shoelaces as a token of our appreciation for their participation in our channel. In today's Q&A video, we're going to be answering your questions about winter wardrobe essentials. Remember, if you have any questions or comments while you're watching one of our videos, please ask them in the comments section below. I enjoy getting back to you and answering as many of your questions as possible, and this is such a great way for me to stay connected with you. Most of you on our YouTube channel know us for our hangers and our shoe polish, but in addition to that, we've got an incredible assortment of other accessories for the well-dressed. And really, our focus on our accessories on our website are those items that are difficult or impossible to find in any type of mainstream retail outlet. Here at The Hanger Project, we love to help the well-dressed take care of their wardrobes. But more than that, we really love to support connoisseurship and the appreciation of quality. All the accessories that we carry here at The Hanger Project are really produced or made by the finest artisans around the world. Not big fashion conglomerates, but really the polar opposite of that. You know, the small individuals, the small ateliers, the small factories that continue to produce today to the same quality standard that they did 50, 60, 70 years ago. So I really encourage you to click around and really explore some of the other categories that we have here on the Hanger Project, because we have some absolutely incredible accessories that are made to just the absolute highest standard. So in this Q&A, we're really focusing on some of the questions that allow us to discuss or talk about some of these wardrobe accessories that don't get much airtime on this channel. Our first question today is from a scary dude, and it reads, hey, since winter fall is coming, can you talk about the different grades of wool, outerwear, and accessories like scarves and hats? So great question. We've got a lot of new stuff that we've just launched on the website that we're very excited about. And I'll speak briefly about some of our knitwear, because I think that's one of the most exciting products to point out the differences between different grades of wool. So Inishmine, as I said in last week's Q&A video, is probably the most authentic knitwear brand that is around today. Founded on the island of Inishmine, and this company really embodies that island's rich fishing heritage in order to create authentic knitwear that really employs the island and really supports that culture. And so this year we're carrying 2 sweaters. One of them is the Martin Beek sweater, which is a workwear sweater done out of a really coarse bull's wool, which is a grade of wool that is very strong and durable and almost impossible to find. I don't know of any other piece of knitwear that is knit out of such an authentic grade or quality of wool. And then the second is our celebration piece, which is a finer piece that you would wear as your Sunday's best. That's knit out of an Italian merino wool, which is much finer in quality and has actually 10% of cashmere woven into the yarn, again, in order to give it that softer, more just luxurious hand. Now, these 2 items couldn't be farther apart. Both will keep you incredibly warm, but one of them is going to be much softer to the touch, the celebration piece, and then the other is going to be much coarser and much more kind of rugged and appropriate for really being in the outdoors, like the workwear piece. Now, in addition to the wool items that we have from Inishmine, we're also launching a collection of linen outwear or linen knitwear from Inishmine. Again, knit from 100% linen fiber. It has a totally different hand than like a cashmere or merino wool. Much harder, much drier. It's a much stronger yarn than merino wool, but it also does a great job regulating body temperature and is perfect for those kind of transitional seasons. So, or something like knitwear, you can have something like an incredibly high quality cashmere sweater that's going to be incredibly warm, incredibly soft, incredibly luxurious, but maybe a little bit more delicate, to merino wool, to bull's wool, and then all the way to like a linen. So a lot of different qualities and grades to choose from, and I think that's one of the great things about clothing, is really playing with those different textures, even in casual wear, is a lot of fun and a way to kind of mix things up and keep things interesting. Our fall-winter assortment really covers knitwear, gloves, and scarves. We've curated an incredibly interesting list of some of the highest quality pieces in each of those categories. So it's not the widest assortment. I mean, again, we're not a huge department store, but what we do carry, again, is highly curated, highly unique, in many cases made just for us here at the Hanger Project. Our second question today is from Alex K, and it reads, I've noticed an interesting thing about a tie. In the late fall, early winter, a simple tie is a good protection from cold, better than even a scarf worn without a tie. Traditional men's suits developed over the centuries is above all practical. Alex, you couldn't be any more right. I mean, at the end of the day, men, we're pretty simple people. We want to eliminate decisions, and I think in a lot of ways, if you look at the business suit, it's evolved in such a way that it should be comfortable to wear, it should regulate its temperature quite nicely, and in the wintertime, I mean, there's no question that a nice dress collar closed with the tie is actually going to help keep you more warm than if you were, of course, wearing the same dress shirt but without a tie. And so there's incredible practicality just behind a men's suit. You know, all the different layers. I mean, it allows you to have an undershirt, a shirt, a jacket, a scarf, you know, closed collar and tie, an overcoat, a hat. All those things make an incredible difference to how warm you are. And one of the things, I just got back from a trip to London and Paris. You know, it's November, so it's really quite cold right there. And again, you know, a hat is more about staying warm than it is looking stylish. Now, of course, wearing a hat makes you look better, and if you're wearing one, you'll always receive compliments and be treated better than if you weren't. But in addition to that, on a cold day where it's windy, you know, wearing a hat does an incredible job helping you regulate your body temperature and keeping you warm. Even if you were completely bundled in, you know, a really heavy overcoat with a scarf and gloves, if you didn't have a hat, you'd be losing an incredible amount of temperature. So absolutely. And then one of the other things that I think is worth mentioning just as we're filming these videos is really how much I've really grown to appreciate. You know, now that we're filming almost every day, you know, in the morning I always put on a suit and tie. I mean, before I'd probably wear jeans and just a button-up shirt, you know, several days of the week. But for the most part, you know, I put on a suit and tie every day now, and I really enjoy it just in terms of how comfortable I am. And it's one of those things that at the beginning maybe I wasn't used to that kind of that routine, but now that I've gotten into the hang of it, I really enjoy dressing up in a suit and tie every day. And I feel better, I look better, and I really feel like, you know, I even perform better here at work just because, you know, I'm kind of dressed for the occasion. So we have an incredible assortment of ties on our website. You know, our Kirby Allison sovereign grade ties, you know, we have made exclusively for us in Paris and then outside of London. And the name of sovereign grade really came from the idea that, you know, the sovereigns, you know, the head of states, you know, the kings or the, you know, the princes of, you know, the last century, you know, what was the quality standard that they would demand? And that's really what we seek to have all of our products made to, is that historical quality standard of all of the quality that matters, but none of it that doesn't. So none of our products are fussy. I mean, we don't have, you know, hand-rolled edges, unlined ties with 20 folds. You know, all that, you know, all those gimmicks, if you are really, you know, more of a distraction than quality. And so all of our ties are three-fold. You know, we spend a lot of time, you know, really seeking out the best quality linings, because the lining, although you never see it, I mean, you'd have to rip a tie open to really understand what the lining is really the backbone of a tie and is what helps create such a beautiful knot. And so, you know, those types of things we really sought out to really help, you know, create a very strong, yet still pretty well valued collection of ties. Our next question today is from Kay Rolick, and he says, I live in a cold, wet, salty part of the world. We'd love to know where that is. And as such, I spend more time than most conditioning and polishing my leather boots. Initially, it felt like such a tedious pain, just for the sake of maintenance, much like wet shaving, which I would disagree with that. Wet shaving is an incredible pleasure. But over time, I developed an appreciation and an affinity for the skill. Now it's become quite a rewarding masculine ritual for me, and I can pride myself on taking the time to get the best results possible. So, you know, thank you for sharing. Yes, in the beginning, you know, even myself, you know, learning to polish my shoes was a little bit of a chore just because you're climbing that knowledge curve. But after you get the hang of it and kind of relax, really, which is really the best advice I could give someone, you know, really starting to shine their own shoes, as once you get past that initial trepidation and you just relax and start having fun with it, no longer is it a chore, and it's actually a ritual that you can enjoy, that I enjoy, and that really a lot of the people on this channel enjoy. And that's, I think, a pleasure that we all really share and enjoy together. And so, Shoe care, again, is, it's one of those traditions. It's one of those few traditions that I feel like men are given from their fathers or inherit in one way or another that we can have to really respect ourselves and show our respect for other people. And that's what shoe care, I think, most fundamentally is about putting your best foot forward, no pun intended, and really showing that you take the extra time, care, and attention grooming your own personal appearance so that whenever you go out there, you're showing due respect to those people that you're around. And that's the whole thesis behind our Shoe Shine Sunday series. I mean, this is going to be an interview series that we have here on this channel of just us getting together with other men, sitting down at a table and shining a pair of shoes and just chatting. And we also have a series on our Instagram channel, our Instagram page, that we call Shoe Shine Sunday. If you hashtag Hanger Project or hashtag Kirby Allison, we really enjoy featuring the work of our customers and our viewers shining their shoes, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I mean, we are passionate about shoes, we're passionate about garment care, and I can't tell you how much I love to see people sitting down and taking the time to do something well that so many other people unfortunately neglect. Our fourth question today is from Galad, and it reads, this up-and-coming winter, I'd like to maybe some slimmer fit trousers and patterns like Prince of Wales or pinstripe, but I go to night school, so a blazer would be cumbersome. I was thinking that it might be good to go with darker knit sweaters. What would you recommend? So I think this is really a question about, if you're not going to wear a jacket, but you don't want to be dressed in just a shirt, which, for me, especially in the wintertime, I honestly feel underdressed or really naked in some ways, if I'm not wearing something that covers my shoulders. I mean, again, as I shared with you earlier, now that I'm wearing jackets every single day, if I don't have something that, is really helping cover my shoulders, I just feel like I'm not dressed properly for some reason. And so very rarely, especially as it gets cooler, if I'm not in a jacket, I'm absolutely in a sweater. A nice sweater allows me to layer more and then just dress to a higher level of sophistication with more visual texture and visual interest over and above what you would get with just wearing a collared shirt. So in the wintertime, if I'm not wearing a jacket, I really am always wearing at least a sweater. And so that's why I've got a pretty large collection of sweaters, which you guys can see in my closet tour video. And, it's something that, every year I try to invest in one or two nice pieces. And so that's, the advice that I would give someone looking to start out is don't go, to some, cheap department store and just buy a bunch of stuff that you're not going to have or continue to enjoy in a year or two. Just invest in one or two nice pieces a year, and after a few years, you'll really have everything you need. So the last question today is from Daniel J. And this is a great question. I must say that I've really learned something, and it resulted in a new product for us. And his question, or his comment was, waxed laces are horrible in cold weather. And so this was on our how to straight lace dress shoes video. And so I'd never really thought about that. And again, this is, I think, such an interesting point, that, I live in Texas and, it gets cold in Texas, but not that cold. But people that are viewing our channel live all over the world, and every single region has developed its own kind of customs that in its most foundational level have some pragmatic purpose behind them. So, here in, kind of warmer climates, the reason that you had a waxed dress shoelace was, one, to give it a nice shine, but also the tackiness of that wax also helps prevent the shoelace from coming untied. So on the flip side, if you're someone like Daniel that's from Sweden, where it's incredibly cold for really probably at least 6 months out of the year, those waxes would harden and make it very difficult to actually tie your shoelaces. So Daniel, thank you for that. As a result, we've actually begun producing all of our round shoelaces in an unwaxed version. So you can buy, of course, our waxed round shoelaces, but now we have an unwaxed round shoelace just for you. And I was actually at John Lobb St. James's shop in London a few weeks back whenever I was in London. And it was very interesting to see that actually John Lobb St. James exclusively uses unwaxed laces on all their shoes. And so that was something that I probably wouldn't have noticed had we not had this conversation. And so it's just another reason, unwaxed versus waxed dress shoelaces, it's a small kind of nuanced difference, but depending on where you live, it could be actually a pretty important difference, or it could just be something that, stylistically you prefer the softer look of an unwaxed dress shoelace. So we've got all those now, and I really, if you're looking for shoelaces, we have what to my knowledge, is the best collection of dress shoelaces available anywhere on the internet. We have all of our shoelaces made exclusively for us in Northampton, which is the center of the shoemaking world in England. And we use the same factory that makes for the majority of all of the Northampton shoe companies. So you can certainly purchase with confidence from us here at the Hanger Project a pair of dress shoelaces that you know are going to be of the absolute highest standard, and the same standard of what you would find from like a John Lobb, Edward Green, Gaziano and Girling, or anyone else for that matter. So we have a variety of lengths, a variety of styles, round, flat. We've got various widths of flat wax laces, and then of course we have all of the standard colors. So Daniel, thank you for your question, and if you send us your address, I really would love to put in the mail to you a pair of our unwaxed cotton dress shoelaces. Once again, I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone for their comments and questions. It's your engagement on this YouTube channel that makes these Q&A videos possible. Not only do these Q&As give me the opportunity to answer in greater depth a lot of the questions that I'm already answering, but they allow me to take a moment to acknowledge my appreciation for everyone's involvement in this channel. I've absolutely enjoyed this platform and how it's allowed me to connect more directly with all of you, and I really have fun interacting with you and answering your questions. If you haven't taken an opportunity to ask a question or make a comment, I invite you to do so. Even if you don't have any questions to ask, sharing your opinion, your thoughts about our content helps us make better videos for you in the future. I read all those questions and comments personally and really do enjoy getting back to as many of them as possible. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications by clicking the bell to the right of the subscribe button so that you can learn whenever we release new videos. If you have any questions or comments about anything we discussed on this video, please ask them in the comments section below. And of course, please visit hangerproject.com, where we have the largest, most comprehensive collection of luxury garment care and shoe care accessories in the world, as well as many other incredible products for the well-dressed. And while you are there, subscribe to our newsletter to receive notifications of new product launches, promotions, as well as a weekly digest of all the videos we publish here on our YouTube channel. I'm Kirby Allison, and we love to help the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes. Thanks for joining me.